Welcome. My name is Jonas Sims. This is Jacob Smith. We are going to be doing a book review on Educated by Tara Westover. So, Jacob, who's the speaker of this book? And yeah, tell us a little bit about their background.
Okay, the speaker is Tara Westover. She's an extreme fundamentalist Mormon. Well, she used to be. Her family was a survivalist up in Idaho in 1986, and her whole life was just challenges after challenge, because she was trying to figure out how she wanted to live, what her belief was, in different ways, like to learn. Like her biggest goal was to go to college, yet her family wouldn't let her strive. So she's just wanting to become a better person when parents wanted to stay in the same spot, hide away from the world, you know?
So, what challenges did she face?
What challenges did you face? Well, obviously her mom and dad, like constantly like trying to keep her in the same spot. Other thing is not like having any high school education and then going into college. Since she had no education, she had to teach herself and have no help. Take the AST or ACT, I forgot what it's called.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, she had to take that without any help or guidance, and just to prove that she can do it. And then when she got to college, she didn't even know like half the stuff, like the Holocaust. It mentions in the book where like she didn't know what the Holocaust, and that was a big point because she didn't know these main events that everyone else knew, and she just felt out, like not included, you know?
Yeah. So, the purpose, something I took from a website called Prezi is Westover's purpose in writing this book was to inspire and encourage anyone in a similar situation. One of her messages is that family doesn't define a person, and no matter where one comes from, they can break away and find themselves. She also wants to express the importance of education and use her story to prove how powerful knowledge is. And kind of piggybacking off of what Jacob said, Tara faced a lot of hardships in her life, such as the abuse from her brother. While the names are changed as to not cause grievance over her family, yeah, she faced abuse by her brother. Her dad was bipolar, which caused a lot of pain for her life. She was homeschooled all her life. She worked in a steel mill with her father until she was like 12, 13, and then she started getting acquainted with piano lessons, dance lessons, and she wanted to work somewhere else because the steel mill wasn't a fit place for her to work and for her to grow as an individual. She found individuality as she grew up, and especially when her brother Tyler left the house and pursued his dreams and going to college, it kind of prompted her thinking into like, wow, this is something I really want to do. And she really explains that purpose well in her story as far as like trying to have other people relate to her story. And going to that, the audience that she's targeting at is especially anyone who has undergone abuse and confinement, mostly for adolescent people. Tara shares her testimony of her bipolar father and abusive brother. She relates to a lot of people in the world, including myself. A quote I related to this says, "This is who you are. You've been pretending that you're someone else, someone better, but you were just this." I think that's in like page 11 or something. But I took that quote, and when I was thinking about it, when I was going through hard times with my own struggles of abuse with my stepmother, I thought I couldn't be anything else. You know, in times I'd say, you know, I'm more than this, but at the same time I'm like, this is all I'm going to be. I'm just going to be this kid who's too scared to find myself, who's always going to be letting this other person control me. Jacob, tell us a little bit about the context of the story, the place and time of this piece, yeah.
All right. Well, it starts off when she's a teenager back in Idaho. Like I said earlier, 1986. She kind of lived with her family for a few years, and then she moved down to BYU and went for a 4-year degree. Is that right? And that's when she got a lot of her experiences with new people. Kind of realized no one, like not everyone is kind of controlled and survivalist. Not everyone has to be confined to that, and you can be your own person. In which she kept keeping her education going with going to Cambridge and Harvard, and just keep growing as a person. So, yeah, just the different parts of her life, being stuck with her family, trying to survive in fear from the police, or being her own person, striving to be this amazing person, teaching other people, and spreading how you can make your own destiny.
Yeah, and I like what Jacob said there. Also, with this, it's hard to pave your own path just by your own self. Tara had a lot of influential people in her life, especially when she went to college. Some of her professors that really started to get her to open up about her life experiences when she felt prone. She didn't have any authority on speaking about these. She thought that she was strong enough that she could carry these burdens alone, but when she realized that she could share these and, just take her burdens off her shoulder, it really helped her to become an individual. So influential people really helped in shaping how she is today. Exigence. What was the spark or catalyst that moved the speaker or writer to write this? How did that event impact the speaker? What events really keep us talking about this today, Jacob?
Well, a lot of people, like you said, you talked about this earlier about how your stepmom, affected your life, but, a lot of people go through these struggles, and a lot of people have these different problems with their families, and she wants to make a difference. She wants, these younger generations to know they're important, and they don't have to be scared of their future. They get to create their own path, and that's where I think she's trying to spread this, is that everyone should take control of their own destiny, and they don't have to be controlled by their loved ones. They can find what they want to be in their life.
Yeah. A question I have for you is, so I shared a little bit about my experience and how I related to this book. Is there any point in time of your life where you could really relate to this and apply it to your life?
Well, I think for now, I've said this a lot, but I am Mormon, so I kind of relate to this, but I actually take the relateness to my non-Mormon family. In this sense, is I kind of feel like they really want me to not be Mormon, and they do all this stuff to kind of control me, and I have to find my own way. I've had my own experiences to make me believe that that is true, and it's always kind of against me. So I don't know, I just think that's a part of my life where I just have to keep persevering to find out what I think is true.
What does persevering look like for you in that situation?
Well, just, I don't know. I'd say for me, a lot of the times it's just praying, seeing if he's there, reading the scriptures, different stuff like that.
That's great.
Yeah. So we can move on to our next part. Some of the different, choices they made was she really used a lot of, what's it called? I totally forgot the word, I'm sorry. Where is it? Oh, you changed on me, bro.
So I could speak a little bit on this. I wrote some extra things, but I said Tara makes choices of recalling her past and writing in a poetic and inspiring way. A quote I really like that explains her poetry is when she's talking about her brother Tyler. She says, "He can't explain where the conviction came from or how it burned brightly enough to shine through the black uncertainty. But I've always supposed it was the music in his head, some hopeful tune the rest of us couldn't hear, the same secret melody he'd been humming when he bought that trigonometry book or saved all those pencil shavings." Word choices such as burn brightly or through the black uncertainty really just gives a poetic meaning to it. And really explains her word choice that appeals to her audience and makes them want to come back and read the book again over and over again. It draws them to read this. Going into that appeal she used.
One thing I noticed was she really used a lot of pathos. She kind of wanted to connect with her audience, and a lot of it was her saying this is my opinion, this is what I thought of the situation. So it's not a really reliable source, but in the sense it's kind of going with your emotion. So it's if you can trust her, like that happened, and that if she can catch her feelings, then that's how she's gonna get you to believe what she's saying.
Yeah, I
Oh.
see that. The emotion, I also would say, kind of differing with you from the credibility. As someone who's faced abuse myself, I see her story, and it's like, yeah, she's definitely undergone that. It's not a lie. Now, her perception of that and how it actually turned out, she provides a great way, as she's not like stating, this is what actually happened, but she states, like, from my perspective, giving her credibility on the topic of her experience. Yeah,
Mostly it.
this is Educated by Tara Westover. What's going to follow is I'm going to sing a song I wrote that really related to me and how I connect to this book. So, more on that later.